everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is FlossTube number 3 and I'm really having a lot of fun recording my FlossTube channels and learning all about the cross-stitch community on YouTube. This channel is about cross-stitch and it will also be a little bit about crocheting and knitting in the future. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for watching my channel again. And if you're new to my channel, a special welcome to you. And if you like what you see on my channel, please subscribe and hit the like button. And I do communicate back to all my comments, and I just love to get to know each and every one of you, that we could talk about cross stitch, which is a love for me and of course all you guys out there. Now, last week was Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all had a wonderful time with your family and friends during Thanksgiving. I have 3 children and 2 of them live out of state, so they flew home. One lives in North Carolina, the other one lives in Oregon. So I get really excited when they come and stay in my home again. And my daughter, I always tell, she's going to be 30. So when she comes home, I always tell her and all my kids that I like to play mommy. Now, one way that I play mommy with my daughter is she wakes up in the morning and I'm like, "Oh, hello, miss. Would you like me to fix your coffee today?" So I'll fix her coffee and then we'll sit and hang out in the morning. And when I do hang out in the morning, ever since I retired about, wow, 9 years ago now, I call it my slow go. So my slow go is when I have my cup of coffee and my breakfast and I try to figure out, okay, what am I going to do today? And I think I call it a slow go because when I used to work full time in an office, I would stay in bed to the very end until I had to get up. And then I had 20 minutes to rush out of here to get ready to get to work on time. So when I stopped working full time, I'm like, I'm not going to do that to myself in the morning anymore. I'm going to start my mornings off slow. So over time, then I realized, why am I still making appointments like doctor and dentist appointments in the morning? Because then I don't get my slow go. So I started making my appointments in the afternoon. So I was just so excited to have my kids here. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and then my brother, he also came and stayed with us too. So now that Thanksgiving's over, we're in full-on Christmas. And since I'm fairly new to the FlossTube on YouTube, I'm learning all about new starts. When I first started cross-stitching, again, about 3 months ago, I thought, I'll just work on 1 or 2 and that'll be it. And then I'm like, I think I want to go back and do YouTube channels and get involved with the FlossTube community. And so they taught me all about new starts. So in my last episode, I showed you a whip parade. And in this episode, I will be showing you some new starts for the very first time. Before I start showing you all my new starts, I do have a FFO. So let me share that one with you. And it is right here. So let me show it to you. I did a stitch along. It was back in, I think it was in November, by Stitching Lee. And it was a mystery stitch along. So we got to read a story, and then each week, I think we had four weeks of clues. So the first week we did the top portion right here, and then the second week, third week, and then the very bottom, I believe, was the fourth week. And I'll leave the information where I found out about this mystery stitch along. I think they do stitch alongs on a regular basis. So I'll give you that information below. So after I stitched it, I thought, wouldn't it be cute to make it into a project bag? Yeah, the best stitches are are made with friendship and laughter. And then when we started this mystery stitch along, we got to pick 5 colors, any 5 colors. You didn't know what you were stitching. So I went through my stash and picked out those 5 colors right there. And I'm really happy how they all worked up together. So that is my first FFO. And then I also did, oh, where are they? Hold on a second, let me find them. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not as organized as I thought I would be. But I made 2 more project bags. So I made this one to put one of my Christmas projects in there. So that was really fun to make. And there's the back. And in my last episode, I was saying how I want to make a project bag try to make a project bag for all my projects. So that's going to take some time. And then I made this one with snowmen. And there's the back. And let me check my notes here. So yes, so those were my FFOs since the last time I spoke with you guys. Now let me share the whips that I worked on the last 2 weeks. The first one is called House Season of the Year, and it is designed by White Rose Snow Garden, and I purchased a PDF file on Etsy. So I finished November. So my goal for this project is I want to do each month in that month. That was my plan at the very beginning, but my plan has changed. Since I'm starting up all these Christmas projects, I decided, well, I'm going to just focus on my new starts. And then I think next year I will work on the month of December. So I'm not going to stress myself out if I skip a month here and there. It's okay. You know, it'll probably take a couple years to completely finish it. I just really enjoy having it there if I want to work on it for that month. So this month was the little dog, and I changed the color of the dog to white to represent my dog Coco. So that was fun. I really enjoy working on this project. And then my second whip, that one is called, I have my notes down here. It is called A Year of Celebration, and it is designed by Cutie Pie Stitch and Sew. So this one is a monthly project too, but they're monthly projects that are individually as one project. So this one I haven't finished it yet. I was supposed to finish it in November. I was working on it today. I was only have to fill in the rest of the white here and then put a border around there and then do a couple more little stitches up here and then I'm done. But this morning I ran out of the white thread. I think it was number 3865 by DMC. So I am planning on getting this done this week. So I have that project checked off and I get an FO out of it. So there's that one. And then my other whip that I was working on in November, and I was really focusing on this one. It is called Christmas Countdown, and it is designed by Prim Stitcher Shop. And oh gosh, I got sad news. So the whole month of November, I was working on this project because my goal, it's an advent calendar. So let me show it to you, okay? So all in November, I was doing the border. Well, thankfully, I only did the crosses halfway, and I was going to do the other halfway of the border when I was working on that day. That was the plan. Well, as I noticed today, okay, can you see the snow under the sled? I could barely see it. So since I'm new at cross stitching, I'm learning, how can I say this? Okay, so in quilting, they say to audition your fabric to make sure the fabric plays nicely with other fabrics and that they coordinate and it's very pleasing to the eye. Well, I didn't do that with this project. You know, I was so excited kitting it up. I got all my thread, but I didn't really pay attention to the colors of the thread and how it was going to lay out on this fabric that I have. And this is 16 count Ada. And I just had it in my stash. I had this fabric, I don't know, for years. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to use my stash. I don't hardly have a stash. So I'm thinking, well, this piece of fabric, it's the right size. I'll have the borders to be able to frame it. And that's all I thought of. And so today I'm stitching that white again, and that is snow. You know, this is Christmas. You're supposed to see the snowflakes. I even stitched little snowflakes on here by the sled, and I can't see them. And I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? So I sat there and I contemplated it for a while, and I realized I got to start over. I got to start over and get a different kind of Ada fabric that is going to be a little darker so I could see that snow. So I went on Amazon because I could get the fabric in a couple days, and I ordered another fabric to go with this project. So I'm not gonna rip this out. I really don't like the color of this fabric. It's kind of, I don't know, dingy, I would say. So I decided I'll chalk it up for experience and to audition my fabric to my thread before I start a project. And so I am just going to throw this in the trash. I know that sounds terrible, but that's where it's gonna go. So in my next video, I will have the new fabric, and then I will start over and I will share my progress on my Christmas Advent calendar next week. So I hope you guys come back and see what it's going to look like. You know what? I'm not going to throw this away yet. So we could compare this with my new fabric. All right, you guys, are you ready to see my very first new starts? I counted them up again, and I have 4 new starts, and they're all Christmas related. And the first one, and I'll show a picture of it right up here. It is called Sheep and Christmas Tree, and it is designed by White Rose Snow Garden. I use 14 count Aida, and it has 8 DMC colors in it. And I always like to share how many stitches. 7,446 stitches. So here is where I'm at. And I wanted to do that Christmas tree first, but I didn't have the fabric, but I did get the fabric, but I'm still focusing on the presents right there. Now, what I was talking about earlier about getting the color of fabric to go with your thread, this pattern also is including white. I think it is the B5200 DMC thread, and the sheep is going to be in white, but I don't know if the sheep's going to show up on this lighter kind of ivory fabric. So I don't know what to do. Should I outline the sheep, or maybe have a darker color sheep? I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So, but I'm not going to rip this one out. I'm not going to throw this one in the trash. I will finish this one. So you'll just have to stay tuned to see what I do with that sheep when I get there. So there is my first new start. Now the second new start is a mystery stitch along, and it is called the Frosties Cozy Christmas, and it was designed by Luminous Fiber Arts. And here is, and you're getting 3 weeks of clues. So I finished clue 1, and this clue came out November 25th, and then the second clue came out just a couple days ago on the 2nd, and then the last clue is December 9th. So I had no idea what I was going to be making until I got that first clue, but I just love that snowman. He is going to be really cute with the rest of the snowmen that I've made throughout the years that I bring out every Christmas. So he'll be introduced to all my other snowmen. And speaking of my snowmen, let me introduce you to them. So hang on. Now this snowman, I painted him years ago. I used to take painting classes at Color Me Mine, but he had an accident. He broke. I was so upset that I glued him back together, and I call him my Humpty Dumpty snowman. Over here is my snowman collection, and this snowman in the red hat, I decorated him by stacking up boxes. And then years ago, I did toll painting and painted this guy on wood. And here are some other snowmen that I've collected over the years. Now, down below is a plate that I painted at Color Me Mine, and it has the 3 snowmen. They represent my first grandson and my husband and I. And then over here is another plate that I painted, and it has a cute little snowman next to the fire. Now, my next news start is about a Santa. And I decided to do this one because on the channel, Homemade on the Ridge, she started a stitch along, and it is the hashtag Holly Jolly Start Miss. So when she was talking about adding collections of Santas to her cross stitch projects, I'm like, oh, I gotta do a Santa cross stitch too. So I picked out the pattern, and I'll show a photo of it right here. And it is designed by Cross and Pattern Boutique. And I got it on Etsy as a PDF file. And this file also came with a bunch of other Christmas ornaments that I'm planning on doing. So here is the beginning of my Santa. I really like how he's working up. And I started him off in the center, right on his mustache. I thought, that's a good place to start. So there is that new start. Now, since I gave you a look at my snowman collection, let me give you a little video of the snowmen that I've made in the past. Now, this Santa, I took a paper piecing class, and that was the first time I've ever done paper piecing with quilting. And then this Santa over here, he was made by my son when he was in 5th grade. And I also painted this Santa, and he got first place in the county fair. I was so excited to get a ribbon. Now, my last news start has to do with the Jingle Ball that's coming up on December 6th through the 8th. If any of you guys are attending the Jingle Ball, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see who to keep an eye out as we're doing the Jingle Ball. This will be my first year doing it, and I know they have a ballroom and speed dating, and you can sit at stitching tables and stitch with other people. So I'm really looking forward to this, especially being new in the FlossTube, to get to personally meet you. Well, not personally, but be able to chat with you online. I think that would be really fun. So I signed up to do one of the classes, and I signed up to do the Gingerbread House by Tiny Modernist. So I've been doing my pre-stitching, and I'm pretty confident I'll have it done before the class. So let me show you what I've done so far. Okay, I did the front of the gingerbread. And I did one of the sides. Okay, talking about lighter colors and snow. When I was first working on this project, I worked on it on a lighter color. And I had to start all over again. So the only color I had in my stash was this one. It's a 14 count Aida. It's a linen cotton. And I probably could have picked a little darker color to show off the white. But since I was on a time crunch, I didn't have time to order anything and I had to just use what I had. So what I did with this project is I alternated where the white was supposed to be brown, the brown trim here. And then where the brown was, I changed it to white. So up here along the top, all this brown was supposed to be white for the snow. But I made it brown and then I just put the white on the door. And even though I swapped out those two colors, it's turning out really cute. So anyway, so I'm really learning about auditioning that fabric. Have you guys had that problem too when you first started cross stitching, trying to find the right color fabric to go with your floss? And if you have any tricks of how to match the floss and the project up, let me know in the comments, because I'm definitely new to this. But I know you learn from your mistakes. So yeah, if you have any hints for me, please let me know. So that's what I've been working on in the last 2 weeks. Started up all my new starts. I got the couple FFOs, so I'm really happy about that. So let me tell you what my future plans are. It was last night. I was thinking, I would like to do like a seasonal project where I only work on this project during that season. So with winter coming up on December 21st, I found my pattern and I'll show it to you here. And it is called the Majestic Moose, and it is designed by Spell X Stitch, and I got the PDF file on Etsy. So I spent a fair amount of time going through Etsy trying to find a winter project that would really speak to me. So when I saw this moose, I'm like, I gotta do that one. It was like, you see the project and it's like calling your name. And this happened to me when I saw this one. So a little backstory of how I tell all my friends and family that I think it's 3 favorite animals, and they are, the first animal was a penguin, and then a pelican, and then also a moose. And I have a story behind why they're my favorite animals. So the reason the moose is my favorite animal, years ago, my family went to visit Yellowstone, and my coworker at the time, she told me, okay, you're going to Yellowstone, you got to take a picture of a moose for me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on it. I'm going to get a picture of that moose. And so we were there, I don't know, maybe about 4 days, and a couple days go by. I didn't see a moose yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to take that photo to show my coworker. So we're driving around, and all of a sudden we see all these cars parked along the road. And we're like, well, what are they looking at down the hill? So we pull over, we get out of the car. I walk up to somebody and I'm like, well, what do you guys see? What's down there? And they said, it's a moose. And I'm like, a moose? So I go grab my camera, and the moose is like laying down in this tall grass, kind of a far distance away. And at the time, I didn't have a great camera to really zoom in or anything to get a picture of this moose laying down. So, and I was waiting there for a little bit, wondering, well, maybe he'll stand up and I could get a better photo of him. No, I think he was taking a nap in the grass. So I took the photo, and back then you had to get the film developed. And so I took the copy of the picture into my coworker and showed her the picture of the moose. And then, of course, I had to get a moose mug, and I think I got moose socks. And so ever since then, I just love moose. Every time I see a moose, I just get so tickled. And a couple of years ago, I went on a cruise to Alaska, and we visited an area where they had like a little, what is it called? It wasn't a zoo. I mean, I guess it was a zoo, but a little area where they had moose. And so I got to go there and take a bunch of pictures of the moose there. So anyway, so December 21st, I need to have this one kitted up and ready to share with you as a new start. So anyway, that is the end of my episode. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I hope you guys are just having so much joy during this special season of Christmas. All right, bye for now until we meet again.